How to make a YouTube video.
I'm working on it.
It's all about ideas, baby. Actually, it's all about audio, but we're gonna discuss that later. Start taking notes. I use my phone. I currently have about 200 ideas written for my main channel on YouTube, and about 1,000 between all my other folders. Get in the habit of writing down those weird ideas as soon as they come, because if you don't, they'll be lost forever. What do I write ideas about? Literally whatever you want. In my opinion, the best videos are about people sharing something that they love. If you don't care about your video, neither will anyone else. Think about it. If you're making videos to make money, get out. Please don't lose interest. I swear I'm going as fast as I possibly can. Making videos can actually get very expensive if you have the wrong mindset. If your aim is to emulate a wealthy YouTuber with millions of subscribers, you're likely to be disappointed with the quality you can reach as a low-budget amateur. But I urge you to look elsewhere. Gaze upon the TikTok everyman, making loads of entertainment off a measly smartphone and the editor built into the app. Look back at the YouTubers of yesterday, who utilized home video cameras and poster boards to make something great. The easiest and most affordable type of video to make doesn't even have video in the first place. Well, it doesn't have recorded, there's no cameras. Some of the biggest videos on YouTube are video essays and top 10 lists and even reviews that can just be created with Google Images, a basic video editor, and a voice memo recording. I believe that having low quality production doesn't matter as long as you get two things right. Audio and... If you sound bad, nothing else matters, people will not watch. So get a mic. There are many resources for getting a cheap USB mic to sound good. I am not one such resource. I do recommend that the one thing you splurge on would be an interface like the Scarlett Solo and some sort of mic that uses XLR. The Focusrite bundle is a great option. It has everything you'll need except for a laptop, but if you don't have $200 to spend, you can always use your smartphone. Most wired headphones have a decent enough mic and can be recorded into an app like the voice memo app. This is what it sounds like to talk into a $20 pair of Apple headphones. And if you think that that's not good enough for you, why don't you look at some of the oldest videos of some of the most popular channels on YouTube?
Today's lesson is on the weirdest 16th century Danish astronomist.
Everybody's gotta start somewhere, and you gotta start where you can start. First thing to check when recording audio is, are you in a reverberative space with a lot of echoey sounds? If so, leave. Most people recommend talking into the clothes in your closet because the fabric kind of dampens the reflective sounds a little bit, makes it sound a little bit cleaner and more like you're recording it in an actual studio. Next thing to watch out for are those sounds, the pop, wind distortion. You don't want any of that. The way to fix that is just to get some sort of thin fabric you can put between you and the mic. Maybe a bit of tissue paper or toilet paper should be just enough to keep the sounds from actually hitting the mic and distorting it. Most important thing to make sure is that people can just tell what you're saying. Audio, in many cases, may be the determining factor between if people will stick around for your video or leave. But that doesn't mean you have to have a $1,000 setup just to record YouTube videos. People are more forgiving than you would think, as long as the rest of the video makes it worth watching. As soon as you add in a camera, it starts to get very complicated. Cameras can be expensive and require a lot of time spent learning, and you need to develop certain skills to use them effectively. Cameras are also last priority when it comes to a budget. See, as I make a very, very expensive camera look like garbage. Now see as I make a garbage camera look like garbage. This is due to lighting, which costs money and practice and skill and requires a very specially trained eye, which I still don't have after 4 years of film school. But assuming you have the budget for a camera, lighting, and have somewhere good enough to film, and you've taken the time to become at least decent at using each of these resources, you can start adding them into your production. Now, really quick, I want to make a case for camcorders. The cool thing with camcorders is that no matter what you shoot on them, it will always look how it's supposed to. Bad. Camcorders have a very specific nostalgic aesthetic that looks uniquely terrible in an endearing and forgivable way. This camcorder I bought on eBay for $20, and this camcorder my dad bought on Amazon for over $1,000 to film his son's, not me, football games. See how they both look bad? And so why would I recommend these over an iPhone? The answer is very simple. I'm incredibly biased. That's right, it all really comes down to taste. But there's one thing about camcorders that I really just don't think that iPhones can offer. Camcorders are lots and lots of fun to use. You can record for practically as long as you like, everything always ends up being in focus, and you don't need incredible conditions to make it look good. The image you get is also incredibly humble and honest. The image you get when using an iPhone is manipulated and uplifted by all these algorithms. But to me, it sort of looks like a 90-year-old wearing a skimpy cocktail dress. No, ew, stop. Meanwhile, the camcorder is like a woman of the same age who's telling you nice stories and baking you things that are delicious. Which one would you rather spend the day with? For me, the answer's simple. It's the one that makes cookies. But again, I'm very, very biased. Bias aside, I think it's actually a very common belief that what you shoot on is really the least of your worries. In fact, using a camera at all for making YouTube content is incredibly optional. What is not optional, however, is... Look, this is really what's going to maybe make or break your video. Attention spans are short and getting shorter, which means every second of your content matters. When you get to editing, start by cutting out any pauses in your recording. Also cut out any ums or likes or filler words such as that. You're also gonna have to divorce yourself a bit from your original ideas. Now that you have everything in front of you, you might decide that an entire segment didn't end up being relevant, and so you'll have to cut it. When I record myself with video, I tend to cut out roughly 75% of my footage. And when I just record audio, I cut out closer to 15%. The point is, the fat has gotta go. What I've learned is that video essays are generally used as background content, sort of like a podcast. This means you don't have to break your back adding frame-by-frame animations just to make your YouTube video work. Yes, it's good to have relevant imagery on screen, but beyond that, don't worry too much. Honestly, all you really need is Google Images, or if you want some stock video, Pexels is also another good resource. I'll leave a link in the description. Once you get all the visuals over your Frankenstein recording, it's time for the icing under the cake. The YouTube audio library is a great resource for content creators, because if you use their music, you're just that much more protected from getting sued for copyright infringement. Make sure that whatever music you add, you lower the volume enough that your voiceover is still the loudest thing. I like to export my project and listen on a few different devices to ensure that it's going to be the same for as many audience members as possible. The music you pick will kind of tell the audience how they're meant to feel about your video. If you want them to be calm, to laugh, to be stressed, pick the music that fits that tone. And once you've done that, all that's left is thumbnails and titles are maybe the most important factors of why someone will or won't click on your video. Unfortunately, if the title and thumbnail don't grab people's attention, it doesn't matter how good your video is, no one will ever find out. Put a picture on your video. As long as it gets people attention, you're fine. This doesn't mean you have to add obnoxious arrows and circles to everything. It just means you need to play to your audience. If you're making a meme video, some low resolution picture will probably do the trick. But if you're aiming for a more refined audience, or you just want to spend more time on the thumbnail, a great resource is the free software GIMP. It works on Windows, Mac, and I'm pretty sure Linux. Also, it's free. It was based off of Photoshop from a couple of versions ago, so it has most of the features you need to make a good thumbnail. The best place to find info for how to use it is youtube.com. I gotta level with you guys for a second. I'm actually really bad at thumbnails and titles. The few times I've actually tried to make clickbaity content, I got swarmed with people that were really mad at me, and am still dealing with the fallout and hate comments today. So I would say... Also, you are literally annoying. Holy, this is such a bad video. Holy, you were wrong about everything. You idiot. As cool as it sounds to have videos with lots and lots of views, take it slow, build the audience you actually want for the right reasons, and it'll be a lot more rewarding. And beyond that, I have no more advice to give, at least that I can think of right now. So go on, become the new PewDiePies and Unbox Therapies of the world. And make sure to remember old Uncle Adam when you're big and strong. If you have any more questions, feel free to email me at mrsweet00@gmail.com. My email will also be in the description, and I hope you enjoyed this kind of different type of video. As always, have a good one.